Hey.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm sorry I was almost late, man.
I know. Just to let everybody know how this show works out, typically I get on, I do some prep work 15 minutes out, and then I usually send out an email, Michael and Eric, which Eric ain't joining us tonight, but that's another thing. He'll be back next week. But it never fails, man. You guys wait till like within the last minute, like 45 seconds, and I'm scrambling to put you guys in the show.
Whew.
Awesome sauce, man. Awesome sauce. Love it.
I like slid in there like Tom Cruise, man, in that movie.
No pressure, man. It's like every week I have to relive the movie Mission Impossible. That's what I
Serious.
do. You know what I'm saying? The
I was
pressure's
on a tight wire.
yeah. And then it's like I make a phone call. Hey man, where you guys at? Where you guys at? Oh, we're on the way, man. We're signing in now. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, we got 5 minutes. Perfect. 2
Be
minutes.
right there, Dad. Be right there.
It's like, okay, we doing this? All right, man. So here's this is gonna be an interesting show.
That's what I want to hear.
Here's what we're talking about this week, and I want to drive participation. So we have a few people in the crowd. Dustin, Jennifer's in here. We don't have a stacked house tonight, but we got some of our favorites. Here's what I want to say. If you want to call in and talk about, mothers of HVAC is kind of what I'm titling this is. Please let us know if you want in. We'll send you a link to the show, jump into the show, and have a chat with us. Today's going to be all about mothers of HVAC.
That'd be cool. Well, can we do audio too, man? Like a call in?
Yeah.
Some people a little.
We can do whatever we want. I got all the controls at the bottom of the screen.
Some people a little shy,
No, we could do it. So if you want a link, just tell me you want a link and I'll drop you a link. Put your email in the chat box and let's rock and roll. Let's do this. So, Michael, tell me about your week, man. Let's kick it off.
It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week. I knocked out my neighbor's AC, so holy smokes, man. I'm getting a little older, man. I used to be able to do an install in like 4 hours, and
you talking about a condenser install, full system install? What are we talking about?
Full system.
In 4 hours?
Bro. I used to, man. I used to be young.
How do you do that? I don't know how y'all do that. Let me ask you a question. There's always this chatter about how long does an install take, and I used to be one of those guys who would get online and go, man, if you're doing an install that fast, it can't be quality.
Oh yeah, I didn't say nothing about quality.
Dustin even said the same thing, man. He's thinking what I'm thinking. Hack, dude. That's hack work. Because you gotta think, man. You gotta purge with nitrogen. You gotta pull a vacuum and all these steps. And before you had fancy gear, pulling a vacuum might have took a good hour and a half.
Dude, I was 12 hours on that job, man. I fired myself.
Oh yeah, 12 hours that's some time, man. That's some time.
And I went home for the wife cooked dinner because it was next door. I walked home. I was like, I'm gonna go eat dinner. I scarfed it down, walked back.
Oh yeah, you can't pack a heavy meal, dude, in your body during install day.
No,
that's a big no. Yeah, but let me go back to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you guys have a lot of closet unit installs. Like there's a condenser outside on the ground, and then you in the garage. There's like an air handler, like bam, right there sitting. Yeah. And it's like super easy to get to. Some ductboard supply. It's like when you stop and think about it, it's like, man, I could probably bang out that install in 4 hours. Like if I really, really wanted to. But in my world, with almost everything in a ventilated attic, you got to go through the stairwell. It's a game changer. That's an 8-hour day.
Oh, right. Yeah, dude. Going down steps, up steps. God bless you guys, man.
That's a 6.5-hour job when the equipment is like for like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't find my ACA Ed, man. I'm looking for my ACA Ed. Where'd he go? ACA Ed, where'd you go?
Before before I became like a dealer with a specific brand, I'll be honest, I used to play the game where I would measure equipment out. And I'm curious if they played the game the same way. When we were smaller, I would scale out the equipment, give a tape measure out, boom, 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 and I'd start finding what equipment would fit best back in that spot.
Yeah, dude, you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah,
bro.
We're gonna put back up here what fits, not what we necessarily want, because we gotta do what we gotta do.
No right? 4-piece, baby. Just slide that baby right in. Put a little plastic butter on there.
Yep. Like
this one was easy, bro. It was in the garage. It was a 3-car garage. I had all the equipment in there. I don't know, dude. I had to flush out. Now, existing copper line set, it stayed, right? So I've never done this R11 flush, believe it or not. I usually just change out the line set. But before Brian Orr and all these smart fellas that we talked to, I used a leak sealer in there like 8-9 years ago. So I wanted to make sure I did a flush.
Yeah.
So,
no, I do that.
So that took me a little bit of extra time. And then what hung me up, dude? I don't know, dude. I should have been done in 5 hours because, dude, I got Jim Bergman's AccuTools blue hose. I got Micron gauge. My vacuum took 5 minutes, bro. I timed it. Because with that flush, and then I purged it with nitro, dude, it was the quickest. It was like as if I ran a new line set. It was, you know how you could tell it's dry? It goes quick.
Oh, yeah. When you got a super clean line set, man, you're pulling a vacuum fast. Yeah.
Right? It was like
dealing with refrigerant boiling and oil and it being a nightmare. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if I went with damn.
I got a question for you. And do you have the pipe wiper tool?
No, dude. I wish I had that.
See, I've never used it either. And I'm curious how awesome that thing is. Like I have a huge fear of that getting caught up in a line set. Now, there's plenty of content out there saying it won't, and I get that. It's probably awesome. I just personally have never used it.
At the symposium, dude, that guy had that thing going through crazy 90s.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
Crazy 90s.
Anybody in the chat? You guys use that? I'd like to give me a thumbs up if you're all about the pipe wiper, because I don't know nothing about it, to be honest.
I think Dustin might have the pipe wiper.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't like saying it.
There was a facility I remember we used to maintain back home. Man, we used to run new line sets all the time. What a pain! But a lot of their line sets went underground, and there had to be massive amounts of oil in those line sets. I feel like we'd have had one of the pipe wiper times. Like they need to have like a pipe wiper 1000, right, for these line sets.
Dude,
they were.
You know what? That R11 flush opened up my eyes because I put something like an oil can. You know how you change your oil? You get the big ones with the little spout. He had one laying back there, and Judah had quite a bit, like half a coffee cup of oil, dude.
So, House, when you get one, man, I want to get feedback because one thing I know about the House, the dude's blunt. I love you, House, because you are blunt, man. You just give it to us straight.
Yeah,
I love that part about him. He's going to tell you what's up.
He'll just let you know.
Yep.
He'll let you know how he feels verbally.
So, man, we're going to break the show for a second. You ready?
Mm.
I ain't did that in a while. I just had to do it. So I took a little minute, man. I wanted to talk about mothers of HVAC. You ready?
Nice.
So we're going to have some chitter chatter about mothers of HVAC, man. And I picked out my top 5. And we're just going to go right into it. You ready?
Let's do it, bro.
So number 1, mothers of HVAC, man, right here. So I just want to let you know there's no real faces on these because the women that we're talking about don't want their pictures on screen.
Yours too, huh?
That's right. So I'm like, you know what I'll do? We'll just put silhouettes of every one of them of what they do. So what we have here is number 1 mother of HVAC, and I'm going to call that my wife, right? This is Jana, who is a big time runner, who has encouraged me to get back into running. This is her. And for a minute, I just want to talk about this mother of HVAC. So I'm going to brag on her a little bit because it's kind of her day. So this is what I'm going to say.
Do it.
Guys, true stories right here, right? Married this lady. I am running Hughes Mechanical. And at the time in my life, man, it's stressful. Business is growing rapidly. We're spitting out kids, and she's on her own career path. She's a nurse, and she's blowing and going, man, climbing the ladder pretty good. And when we had kids, things started to get a little hectic, and we had to make a decision. Are we going to bring in someone like sit with our kids, or how are we going to work this out? And her first awesome move is like, she basically kind of put her career on hold. She went part-time, and she did way more kid duty so I could do more company duty. I gave way more than 40 hours per week for probably well beyond 10 years at the company. And you know who was holding the household down? That lady right there. That's me, right? I would not have been able to do what I had to do for those, many years of my life, getting that business where it was needs to be without that lady. So for me, that's mother of HVAC number one. Not to mention, just like there's so many other intricate little parts, man, that she's played for me. Whew, just like
she was in a TEC video, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, oh, exactly, man. Let's talk about that for a second.
That was cool.
I haven't seen that video. My wife's a huge supporter of my career. She's whatever we got to do, she's in. She don't want to do it from like being on camera, but she did play that role. When I made my first video coming on board for TEC, I was so nervous. First time, like my first real big presentation was at the symposium a few years back, and my boss is like, "Hey, man, you do you," and I'm like, "Okay." And I just had this idea of building a storyboard, but I needed characters. And it's like, when you've got to shoot this stuff, if you've never done video work, sometimes you got to shoot it over and over and over and over until you get the storyline right. Right. So I'm wearing my wife out. She comes in from work and I'm like, "Hey, I need you to film this part for me." First off, I need you to dress like a man and be my boss. So she's just like, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, "I know you don't want to." I'm like, "But I really need you to." She's like, "All right, I'll do it." So kudos to her. She's a rock star.
And then she was a homeowner. Was she a homeowner in that one too, or was that a different one?
She played two parts. Yeah, she was the homeowner, and then she came in and played the boss man.
Oh, she played the boss. That's right. I got to watch that again, bro.
She did a very good job with it. She was awesome.
That was awesome, dude.
She supported me all the way. I would not probably even be at TEC right now if it wasn't for this lady. So that's kudos to my wife, who's sitting in that other room, not watching the show tonight. Normally she watches the show from the bedroom with the kids, and she's in tune with what's going on. Yeah. But she told me 5 minutes ago, she goes, "I don't know if I'm watching the show tonight. Sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine."
That's
all
awesome.
Right. That's number one. Number two, this is my mom right here, right? That's a silhouette of my mom with shopping bags. Because if you know my mom, dude, she is a shopaholic. Now, here's the story behind my mom. My parents were not rich people. In fact, we were pretty broke people. We were paycheck to paycheck people to the max, right? Like I remember one year for Christmas, I got a skateboard, and there was Ninja Turtles on the bottom of it because it was my cousin's skateboard. And I was like, "Man, this skateboard looks familiar." And I'm pulling up the paint, and I'm like, "Oh wait, this is that Ninja Turtle skateboard that my cousin has." So, yeah, just to give you an idea of like how much money we did not have. But let's talk about this lady for a second. So when we went into business, me and my dad, once again, we were broke, but I had saved up a bunch of money personally. And my dad had just gotten to a point where he was doing well and he had saved up a little bit of money. But insurance is going to be a huge problem, right? We had I've got 3 siblings, so it's a crew of 4. Mom's been a stay-at-home mom, holding it down, some catering work, stuff like that. So Mom decides to go work at the school system for insurance reasons. So she could hold down my dad's insurance while we go into business because he was going to lose insurance once we opened up shop.
Right. That's clutch, dude.
Yeah. So she went into the school system, and I don't know. Let me just throw this out there. Let me tell you a job that does not get the amount of recognition it deserves. People who serve food for a school system, one, they don't make hardly any money. It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I've see all these talks about school teachers don't make enough money. School teachers don't make enough money. How about the people who run the cafeteria?
How about the lunch lady, baby?
Bruh, they don't make but a third of what a school teacher makes. Let me tell you what, you want to know who gets to the school probably 2 hours before every school teacher? The lunch lady. Dude, they're walking in that school at about 5 o'clock in the morning, every morning.
Dude, I remember my Aunt Mary. She did when I was in elementary school, man. It was awesome seeing her there, you know?
Yeah, they put in some major work, and it's a lot of work to pull that job. No joke. I watched my mom do it. Gave me a way newfound respect for the people who do that career. So without her, Hughes Mechanical never would have been born. Without my wife, I would have never been able to like pull the weight like I needed to. So those two ladies in my life, bruh, monumental. That's all I can say.
I tip my hat to them because I wouldn't be on the podcast without them too.
There you go. All right, man. The next one is all you, Michael.
Oh yeah, the little silhouette of the wife there. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all live at the beach, man. So
yeah, dude, my wife is a beach. She's a beach master. So yeah, man, she loves it down there. I mean, that's
awesome.
That's the place to go, bro. If it wasn't for her, I'd be probably working for a company doing the 9 to 5, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to have support in the family, man. So I mean,
she's the motivation, or what?
She, her and I, we do things differently. We came together with it. We're like, hey, where do we want to be? What do you want? Do you want me to be home with the kids more, there for you more, or do you want me to go make $100,000 a year? So we're like, all right, stick with the whole performance business, make a little less, be home a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, if she was a typical American woman telling me go hit up that big salary, I probably wouldn't be here myself, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's to my wife.
I'm going to drop this out there. Jennifer said, getting home from work. Happy Mama's Day to me. Happy Mama's Day to Jennifer out there getting it done.
Got the hubby cup.
Yeah, man. All right, man. So here's our number 4 on the list, right? This took about 2 minutes of Google search, so bear with me.
Ooh.
Dude, what do you think that mom was
research?
Like? Right? I mean, let's be honest, man. What do you think Willis Carey's like? If this dude growing up had to be one of those kids all the time that's like, Mom, listen to this. Mom, listen to this. Oh, guess what I figured out today? One of those kids who won't quit nagging you. That's what I imagine when I think of Willis Carey.
Imagine this. Imagine that.
I imagine him being like 15 years old, 13 years old, in the kitchen, stuff everywhere, right? And his mom cleaning up every day. That's
hey, Mom, imagine if we didn't have to pickle all our meat. Imagine. Shut up, Willis. Just shut up.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking Willis Carey's mom had to be, dude, like a Billy Badass.
I just listened to Brian Orr's podcast. I forgot who he had on, but he was talking about Willis Carey too. It's funny you brought that up.
Dude, I mean, she had to be a hell of a woman. All I'm saying. All right, and last but not least, we're just gonna throw a shout out to all the other ones, man. All the hardworking moms out there. If you're out there, hardworking mom, kudos to you.
Especially the women in HVAC, dude. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know either.
Woo.
All right, man. That's my top 5 right there.
That's pretty solid, bro.
Got a little emotional there, man.
We might have to bring back the top 5.
Yeah, I know, man. I like the top 5. Here's what I would ask. If you're in the chat and you like the top 5, let us know if you like the top 5. Because I dig it. I don't know.
Yeah. Eric was the one that was like, we're not doing that no more.
Yeah. Eric naysayed us, man. That's why he's not here. Secretly, what we're saying is we probably just kicked him off the show. That's why he hadn't been here in 2 weeks. We're looking for a replacement. So we're watching the chat to see who's putting out the most, who we're going to drive in. No, I'm playing.
we had a little bit money left over in the slush fund, and we sent him on an Alaskan trip.
Yeah. Yeah, our sponsor money is so deep right now that we're rotating vacations. So bear with us
Yeah.
because I'll be next. Mike will be third, but we're going to rotate out. But when we get back, we're planning on bringing a hell of a show, full circle.
I need a vacation. I think we're going to go down to the Keys again, man.
Yeah, my sister just got back from the Keys. Man,
which one?
I thought there was only one. Like what's like the tip of the end, right? Where you drive down beyond Miami.
Key West.
Yeah, what's so special about Key West? I've never been there.
Not much, man. It's just
is the
small
water
island.
Is the water like so? Here's what I'll tell you. I've looked at it from Google Maps, right?
Yeah.
And I know this doesn't do it justice, but it doesn't look like the water down there is as crystal clear blue as it would be in the Gulf Coast area. Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
It's kind of crazy, man. Depending on the year. I mean, sometimes it's like. All right, let me say this. Like, I would say an hour out of Miami, we hit up the first key. We go to Isle Morada.
Wait,
so each island you can call them a key.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
So the keys, each island is considered a key.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have an incorporated multiple islands. So, like Isle Morada might have like two or three keys. Yeah, and then, dude, I mean, from the first island, from like Miami, dude, it's like 6 hours, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, I thought it was a 3-hour drive to get to the end. No,
I mean, bro, you drove from like Pensacola all the way. You did that crazy loop. I mean, we had a couple of drinks. You told me that crazy story, but dude, the drive from Miami down to Key West, the furthest southernmost part of the United States, that the place where everybody takes pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hike, bro.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, so we like to go to the closest key, Isle Morada. It's quiet. You can bring the kids. You know what I mean?
Jennifer says the water's green. Good to know.
Yeah, some of the places not so great, man.
So is it somewhere like you got to visit? Like you just got to go at least once, or is it like?
I totally recommend it. Anybody to go. Yeah. I mean, if you could fly in, bro, you got the cash. Fly in there and do that.
Really?
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think I'd like to stay on a sailboat if I go down there. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah. Like if I'm going to do it, I feel like I'm going to do it all the way. Like if I'm going to go to the Keys, I'm going to rent a sailboat and I'm going to go sleep on a sailboat and get the full experience.
You could do the whole, maybe do like a Forrest Gump trip, rent a shrimp boat from Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, I do have friends with shrimp boats. Dude, we could catch our food on the way. It's genius.
I mean, dude, yeah, catch your food, shrimp, put it on the grill,
sell it, money.
Yeah, we're in Key West like 2 weeks later.
I don't know if it's like this by you, but like that's how it is by me. But like I went fishing one day down in wasn't Grand Isle, it's the town before Golden Meadow area. Yeah, I know that doesn't ring a bell with you, but basically we went fishing one day and we decided that night we were gonna, like, every night we would go down there with a crew, we would fish, and then we plan on like cooking the fish that we caught that day.
Oh, nice.
So it was like there was somebody who was catching shrimp and we're passing on the way back, and this dude just like had a freaking boat full of shrimp. He's stopping, he's flagging us down. He's like, hey guys. And it's like, what's up? He's like, y'all catch any fish today? And I'm like, yeah, we caught some reds. Yeah, big old redfish. He goes,
oh, nice.
He goes, y'all want some shrimp? Y'all want to make a trade? And I'm like,
dude, I love
it. Yeah, we do. He goes, man, you give me one of them big old reds, I'll load down this 5-gallon bucket of shrimp. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, oh, a bucket? We're talking like a 5-gallon bucket. He's like, bucket? Yeah, I'll make a trade right here. I'm like, deal, dude. So we go in the ice chest. We grab this big old 27-inch red that either me and my dad caught that day, toss in his boat. This dude says, open your ice chest. Boats are like this, touching. Boom. Right? Oh. Big old, about almost a 5-gallon bucket full of big old shrimp, man. He pours them in there. And I'm like, dude, that's bartering right there to the awesome.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that does happen over here, on the river. That's pretty awesome.
That is cool, man. I used to go crabbing, man, all the time when I was younger, man. We used to go down to the docks, throw some traps in, catch some blue claw, and just come home, throw in a whole pot, little spaghetti sauce.
I'm curious to hear in the chat. Does anybody so when we used to do company trips a lot, and fishing was always our big deal. We'd go fishing. If we didn't have enough boats, we'd charter boats. We'd take people out. We'd go fishing. What do people do mainly for like company trips now? Or what's big in other areas of the country?
It's a good question, man.
Like around here, fishing's big, man. Fishing charters are like, that's what a lot of companies do. They take guys fishing or they maybe take guys hunting, but not so much hunting because hunting can get pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to be like, what was that? George Bush and what was it? Cheney? Yeah.
Michael says we go back to work.
We go back to work. Congratulations. You just got yourself another work week.
Yeah, baseball game sounds pretty cool. What do you guys do in Florida, Mike?
Dude, I mean, when I worked for that big corporation, man, I think Carrier was pretty big. They used to take us out of the Sebastian Inlet over here.
Yeah,
deep sea fishing, yeah.
Fishing trips. So if fishing is just, carries all the way through between here.
Yeah. Plus, we live in a fishing town, so yeah. I wonder what, man, if I work for a big company in New York, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder
Yankees game.
Yeah, it's got to be baseball games.
Yeah,
which sounds really cool. I'd be all in for that.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know. All right, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what they do in the rest of the country, So, but
I don't know.
I think in Louisiana, they take them gator hunting. So,
that it's funny how like people think like everybody in Louisiana is like big about like gator hunting's like a big thing. And don't get me wrong, it's a thing. It's a big thing. But not as many people probably go messing with gators as you would think.
Oh yeah, dude. It's so stereotyped. It's just like everybody thinks everybody from New York's connected to mom and
I've got
plays
friends
wiffle ball in the front yard,
I mean, I've got a friend. We were fishing one time, and his GoPro got knocked off his boat, and he was like, "Oh man, GoPro!" And he just goes like right in after the GoPro. And I kid you not, there's not one but like two gators on the side of this pond, and they're not small. And I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'd have did that. Like,
how do I explain this to the cops? Right?
He's pure Louisiana country, man. Where he's just like, well, it's just a gator, whatever, no big deal. And I'm like, yeah, like, nah, man, I'm not like, I'm maybe from Louisiana, but I'm not jumping in a water full of gators. That's just not me.
Yeah. You're not that guy, but your friend is that guy on YouTube that was caught dancing with the gator. You see that guy dancing with the gator in the middle of the lake?
No, man.
Oh, bro, I'm dropping it in the grapevine after this.
Jennifer says I look like a country boy, a bayou boy with a wheat string in my mouth. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I picture that straw hat on you now, bro.
Everybody I talk to like says that I don't sound country, I don't look country, or Louisiana country. I don't know. We just need to bring Dustin Cole on, man. He's more Louisiana than me.
Dude, Dustin, he's like the guy that comes out of the woods out of nowhere, and he's got like a bunch of gator teeth on like a string.
Yes,
on the neck.
What was the name of that? What was the name of the Crocodile Dundee guy?
Oh yeah, he's like Louisiana Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, Dustin Cole could be the 2023 Crocodile Dundee. They need to recruit him for the show and kick it off. I'd be all in for that.
With like a little 2000s flair, like all those like farm. He was telling us some stories that he used to having parties. And he's like, I rented like a tractor and we dug like a whole pit and we put sand in it. I was like, sand in the middle of the swampland? He's like,
I'll give House that one. Sorry. Tell it for sure. I can tell a good story. They may not all be true, but I'll tell them.
They may not all be true.
Michael, hey, didn't you do some more work on your house?
Oh.
Do you want to get into it?
No, I did the repair on the old house, on the old unit, but
yeah. I knew you was doing some digging over there and you was like talking to me about bringing it back to the show. Are you ready for that? Or are we still waiting for the rest of the content? Where are we at with that?
Oh, you mean the what was I doing? I called you. I had the DG8.
Yeah, we were talking about duct leakage outside testing.
Yeah, I had the DG8 out, and
Did you ever get the full analysis done?
yeah, it was minimal, man. When I closed all the doors off to all the bedrooms.
Putting you on the spot, bro.
Oh yeah, can you see the bead of sweat coming?
I know he's thinking like, man, no, I didn't do it. Shoot, you did it, man. You did it. I tell you what, I know you did it, but you didn't put it in C-Stack yet, did you?
No, I did not put it in C-Stack.
You didn't even download C-Stack yet, did you?
No. I got it on the phone, I think. That's it. Well, brought to you by our sponsors.
Your ass to kick your ass. Come on, man. Come on.
Crocodile cold.
Dude, it's easy. Easy program. Yeah,
man.
It, bro. Just if not, send me the numbers and I'll do it.
I gotta get C-stacked.
Yeah, you got this. All right,
I'm telling you what, though, I did. You know what I did do to the house? I didn't tell you about.
No, I want to hear it though.
Pretty weird. I don't know, but this is the nerd group to bring it to, bro. Well, let me move the camera. Everybody, well, not everybody knows, but I got these weird ass grills.
Yeah.
Now
that we talked about that. Is that a Florida thing or louvers
above Florida?
That's every house in Florida.
It's well, it depends on the builder. You know, I think it's a cheap way to go. It works.
Yeah.
Works. Now it works for this room. This is like a 13 by 13 room. It works, but my master got just that, which is bullshit.
Huh.
So my master has it's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 or 4 supplies, right? So it's not going to work for the master,
Yeah.
So what I did was I'm going to go in my closet and just put like a 10 by 10 grill and foam it out, dude. And check to see what my zonal pressure is on there, just for shits and giggles. Not that I know that what it does, but I'll just pass it over to you and Jenry.
Hold on, I'm confused. You said you lost me a little bit. You're gonna mount a supply diffuser in the ceiling of the master?
No, I'm gonna go in my closet, right? Somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got on you know what?
Does your closet wall in like the backside of your closet wall, does it open up to the main part of the house?
It goes to the main part of the house.
So you're thinking you want to throw a big transfer grill from your closet to your house?
Yep. So from my closet into the main part of the living area.
Let me ask you a question. Why not just drop a return duct?
I don't want the gains.
Yeah, but you may not have no gains. Size it to where it doesn't add gain.
It's going to be 40 foot of flex.
Oh, you're saying you don't have any return duct work. So you're saying just part is your critical path. You currently don't have return duct. You have to oversize the ever-loving hell out of it to make it not be a gain.
Yeah, like you're saying direct connected to the return, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all I have is a air handler on a stand in the middle of the house.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Would be a pain.
Yeah. So
you're either transfer grill or jumper duct moves. That's where you're at.
Yeah. So
you got one of the two.
So I'm gonna do just the grill, Damn, my friggin' laptop almost just kicked right off.
If you go off, I go off. I'm just saying. I'm not going solo.
That damn budget. So anyway, I'm gonna go in my closet and I'm gonna go low because on the other side is my my couch. So you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to hear anything.
No, yeah.
And I think audio is going to be good. If I'm in my master, you can't hear any conversation. So what I did was,
go ahead.
You're going to go low,
wide. What about the studs? You just going to?
Yeah. What is it? 16 on center for an interior wall?
Yeah. So I'm curious. Are you gonna leave the studs and then go in and like foam on the inside all around and then mount the grills and leave the studs? Are you going to cut the studs?
That's what I'm going to. I'll probably do, if it's 16, I'm going to probably go at like a 14 by 14. and just foam it out really good. Or like I think the other one, like one job I did, I put like duckboard or something in there, kind of holds up the foam.
Michael asked
Well,
you a question. Does the closet have a door on it?
no door. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So you
like
don't have to worry about it being an isolated room, not, doing anything. That's
yeah,
good.
it's a good question, and I left that out, man. Sorry,
So
but yeah, it's
what are
like an
you waiting?
archway. What's that?
What are you waiting on?
I'm waiting on me. I'm slow as shit.
Only thing I could say is,
The shoemaker.
well, it's funny you said shoemaker. It's what if you
Shoemaker.
have like some really raunchy shoes that you've been wearing all day and then you put them in your closet and now that becomes the return air path and all the fumes from your nasty shoes start getting pulled into the living room of the house and the whole house starts to smell like wet shoes.
You know what I'm worried about? Actually, I'm worried about. I got like all my nice like my button downs, and like all that like dusty return air is gonna go past them. I'm gonna get like dust on my clothes.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah. And
but
then
dude, when a door closes,
Ugh.
it gets stuffy in the master, man.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, if
So
you said you got 4 grills but you do have a return air chase or a passive thing above the door.
yeah,
Um,
that thing sucks though. So actually, I forgot already. I got
do
off
they
on
have
a tangent.
do all of those have the corrugated sound baffle in them, or is it just like dead space? Boom,
You're
boom.
getting ahead of the story.
Oh man. Okay.
So
Sorry. Go ahead.
I took that piece of junk down, and inside is metal can stock, right? So a
Okay.
while back, I did a blower door like 3 years ago, and I found out when I depressurize the house to 50 pascals, I get leakage from the corner of these grills on all of them to the attic. So I sealed them all off,
Okay.
and now I got them all sealed. So I don't know, you might think this is a little weird, but I took cardboard and I cut them to where you see the little holes in there. I must have cut like I don't know, like 30 freaking pieces of cardboard. I put them in there so like the air goes through.
Yeah. That's kind of how they build them. I actually have one.
Do you
Give me a
have one
second.
really?
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you what. It took forever. I took the grill down, measured it, and I just stuffed a bunch of cardboard in there to where, like when you cut cardboard, you could see little and I wonder if I got the idea. Dude, that's kind of like what I did.
Similar. Yeah. I actually
That's
won.
it, bro.
Yeah. So that's the core. That's what comes in them right now. See, my thing is they should be painting these black, man. This is just like,
Yeah.
it looks too funky. It needs to be a different color. Like, couldn't you get with the cardboard manufacturer and say, can you make cardboard black and then do this with it? That way it would look slick. Because like,
That's
here's the
exactly
problem.
what I did, man. That's awesome.
You cut these things in, and then at some angle, you're gonna see this. And you're gonna
Yeah,
be
but
like,
only AC guys look at shit like that.
maybe so. But like
Uh-huh.
we're
Yeah,
picky.
because you're at a restaurant for lunch, you're looking up at the ductwork,
So
hey, is this gonna fall down on everybody?
so something which we'll probably be getting into this next week because we got a guest coming on the show, but I don't want to let his name out just yet. You'll see it in the thumbnail because I'm planning on throwing down one heck of a fun thumbnail for next week.
What's kind of messed up is everybody knows before I do.
So
That's messed
we're
up.
probably gonna be talking about these kind of grills and rooms that get to above 0 pascals of pressure, which I don't want to drive it home tonight, but it's like there's a discovery that needs to be made about room pressurization and where you draw the line. Do we draw the line at 0? Do we draw it at 1, 2 pascals, 2.5, 3? Like, and what massive impact are we making? You know what I'm saying? There needs to be research done again about that.
Let me just see if Jenry's in the chat. Okay, yeah, go ahead. No, it's fine.
Not to throw it out to the world, but yeah.
Dude, Jenry's been on the hunt, bro, for
Yeah.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? If it's at 2, if it's at 3. He thinks 3 is not right.
I would agree with him. And then there's also a small part of me that would disagree with him.
Yeah, Let everybody know in the chat what we're talking about, though.
Okay, so if you have a high precision manometer that reads in pascals, right? Really, really, really low amounts of pressure, and you close a bedroom door and that room only has a supply in it and no return and no passive return, or it has passive return, but it's not enough, that room's going to get pressurized, which we in the trade would say this room is an extension of the duct, which makes total sense. It is. Well, that room probably has cracks and crevices of leaks everywhere, leaks that go outside, leaks that go back to the main body of the house, leaks from room to room, you name it. It's
Rooms,
like
rooms just like this with just a return like that.
Yeah, it's like it's a 5-gallon bucket with holes in it everywhere. That's what a room like that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you're pressurizing that bucket, I like the analogy of a bucket full of water. If when water's in a bucket, there's gravity. When gravity's pushing down on the water, water goes through all the holes, right? So if you don't have but one hole in the bottom of that bucket, and that's the main part of the house where you want the water to go, well, if you have more pressure pushing down on the water, what's going to happen? You're just going to have more velocity pressure, and the water is going to be flowing back to the main body of the house with more pressure. Okay, not end of the world. But if you have holes in the bucket everywhere and you apply the same amount of force, well, now you have velocity shooting out of every hole rapidly, which is leakage everywhere. And you're still getting the air going back to the main body, but you got leaks going in other places too. And now you're increasing that leakage because you're now, have the pressure. So a high precision manometer can tell you if that room's under pressure, but it cannot tell you strictly with just that measurement if all the air is coming back to the main body or if it's going through all the other holes too. Right. And there can be advanced testing that can kind of figure that out.
But it's a big depends.
There's a big head scratcher here. You could take a flow hood. You could, and this is good practice in case anybody's listening. You open the door, you measure the airflow out of the supply grill, and then you close the door and you measure the air out of the supply grill.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you if you're pressurizing or depressurizing the room along what the gauge is measuring under the door. They kind of work hand in hand. Now, the only way to really know if you're not leaking air from cracks and crevices would be to have like a transferred return from the room to the main body and then measure that grill, passive return grill, or return. Doesn't have to be passive. It could be passive. It could be powered return. And then you have to measure that. And is the same amount of air coming into the room match the same amount of air going out of the room? And if you don't get the same amount of air going out of the room, well, then that means you're leaking air somewhere else.
And you got leakage.
Hard question is how do you determine if that air is leaking outside of that room to outside or into the main body of the space, which would be okay.
Or like another bedroom.
Right. That's what I mean.
Right.
And that leakage is okay. Leakage outside is not okay, which is what leads us to the dominant duct leakage test, which is why you test the house main body to outside to see if you're dishing enough air out of the body of the house to where you're making the main part of the body go negative. So just to kind of go full circle and explanation of what we're trying to figure out there. But that's a really full circle. Well, if you think about it, to do that test properly, I hate to say properly because there's properly for that test, all bedroom doors get closed. You do the check. You kind of test all rooms at one time. But you could kind of test one room at a time, but then again, you can't, right? Because if you close the door and the house goes negative, yeah, you probably know that you're losing air going to the outside of the house, but you still don't know the quantity of air that you're passing to the neighboring room. So that's what becomes challenging.
To the other bedroom, right?
That's where ZPD, zonal pressure diagnostics, which are room pressurization testing, gets really confusing. ZPD, and the reason I broke that up is because ZPD testing goes with a blower door test running. And then if you're not blower door testing, We just kind of call it like room pressurization testing because there's not a blower door running. So it's kind of the differentiator between the two.
And we can't do a blower door on a like a guest bedroom or like a secondary bedroom because you don't know how much leakage is to the adjacent bedroom.
Well, getting out of context because now we're really digging deep into ZPD, but you could test a single room, but
Do a blower door on like a bedroom like this.
Yeah, you have to eliminate all possibilities of like a neighboring room becoming an issue,
which is impossible.
as like for a lack of better terms, as a bleeder. Right? You don't want bleeder air going there. You want to make sure the neighboring room is at negative, 50 pascals, so it can't, skew your test results.
So it's really tough right now. Like, is it zonal pressure diagnostics? Should we check leakage outside? I say, listen, if you're doing a duct leakage test for the whole house, and it goes spec, it goes below what new construction is, I think you're doing decent,
Well, circling back, now that we've told everyone what we're talking about, like brought it all full circle. So what we're talking about is at what room pressurization do we have a problem?
Right.
That's the debate. And so if you pressurize a room even 2 pascals, which I think Florida's y'all's code is, every room has to be at 2 or below, right? I believe that's what y'all have to abide by. I think that's y'all's rules in Florida.
I'm doing duct leakage.
Oh, no, I'm talking about room. I'm pretty sure Florida's rules are you can't have a room pressurized above 2 pascals of pressure. I think that's a rule that designers have to abide by for Florida, which is pretty awesome. Like, we don't have any rules like that. We need them bad. But why 2? And I think that stems back from Neil Moir's research with FSEC, like in the early 90s. And it was really good research. But I'm wondering, and I read this paper, and he doesn't exactly say 2's good. He's saying if we get to 2, we're awesome. He's basically saying if we get to 2, we've done some good and we could do better, but we should not probably exceed 2. He's not saying, hey, 2's once you get to 2, healthy.
Okay.
Right? That's not what he's saying. But I think it got taken that way.
Okay.
And that's where I think the rule came from of 2.
Oh.
That's what I think happened.
And didn't they touch upon it in Mad Air in the 80s?
Yeah.
They said something about, like, I think it was when I read the article, it was 3 and below, but I don't want to quote. I don't want to quote anything.
That's the thing. Everybody's bouncing around these low pressures. And Genry did a study the other day, and the pressures were, he literally kind of proved that he was leaking a lot of air to the attic, and the house pressure, I want to say, was only around 3. Yeah. So it's like, what are we doing here? Are we
Genry knocks it out of the park because this is the way I noticed. He says if the room or the house is really loose, you're really not going to get like a high Pascal rating, right? So when you check the room. So, but if the house is tight, you're going to, like everybody says, it depends. Is the house tight or if it's loose?
Well, it does depend. And my argument is, oh man, this is a deep conversation. My argument is you got to have some pressure to get a differential pressure to get airflow to move, right? Just like a vacuum, you create a void space so air flows to the empty pocket.
That's a good point.
So if we don't create any differential pressure in a room, then we don't move air.
You're not going to get much movement. That's a good point.
Some level of differential pressure. That being said, at what differential pressure do we create a big problem? And this is my argument. I wish Genry's on the show, and I hope we get into this.
Worst case scenario, we wait another 8 months for the symposium. I think he's going to come with
thinking? If we'd have killed the show right there, we'd have pulled the same move to overtime, guys, and I think it would have been awesome. I'm not doing that, but man, that would have been in my mind. I'm thinking I should kill this show. That'd be hilarious. But I'll finish this, man. The debate is if you have to have differential pressure to make flow, then at what pressure do you have to worry about leakage? And here's my answer to that. Any room pressurization is bad if you have leaks to outside. Period.
Leaks outside.
So my answer to that is it's all bad until you seal the leaks. Right? Because I think what we're going to find out that even at a half a Pascal, we still could have drastic leakage going to, say, a vented attic that we would have at 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
The holes are still in the bucket and there's still pressure being applied, which means that all the holes are going to leak no matter if the pressure's super small or super big. You're still going to leak everywhere. So I think you have to seal the leaks. So room pressurization is an identifier, but we have to figure out how to find leaks and seal leaks. That's what's important. That's my answer.
Dude, it's so vague, and we've been talking about this for 3 years. I love it. I think somebody needs to come up with a whole symposium in Orlando and just like knock it out the park.
You're making me over here sweat bullets on this conversation, man.
we gotta switch gears, man.
Hughes don't know shit. Don't listen to that guy.
Yeah, but dude, I'm gonna put the bypass in my closet because dude, I mean, if you literally have the same grill in 10 by 10 rooms, and then you have the same type of airflow over a door that has 5 grills. I mean, it's just common sense, man. A lot of these guys, that are just doing basic AC, they don't get it, man. A lot of their customers are closing their doors at night, and the room's getting hot. It's getting hot as crap, man. Just pay a little attention, man. That's all.
Well,
that's it.
I think, like I said, the answer needs to go back to we need to build. There needs to be resolution here, a start to finish work protocol that says, if I walk up to this situation, what is my step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to accomplish that task? And I don't think anybody's perfectly laid that out yet, but I think we're getting close.
Dude, it's coming. But I mean, what I'm talking about here is completely different than what we were talking about room pressurization. That's a whole nother crazy building science topic, which is going to come to a head soon. I feel it. I feel it in my HVAC bones.
There's a ton of people working on it, is what I'm saying. And I think, there's some of us that are probably even in this chat that joke about like we're standing on the shoulders of giants. But I believe that currently right now we can't see it, but I think we are the giants who are growing into giants right now. And we're going to lead the path on this new wave of what HVAC's going to turn into. And I think we're changing the game. And I think we don't know it. We just, like, deep down, we're on this mission and it's happening. And we don't know we're changing it drastically, maybe for the whole industry. But I think eventually it's going to happen. And we're going to look back and go, man, we had no idea what we were trying to accomplish, and it happened.
I think you're right. I think the community is growing, man. I think it's more of like a movement, man. We can just troll everybody through it.
Oh man, gotta love it.
Don't be a wuss. Don't be a wuss, Mike.
Don't be a wuss.
All right, man. Wuss.
So next week we will have the mustache back.
Ooh, we got the mustache back.
Next week we are to have Jenry Garcia on the show. Next week will be a hell of a good show. That's all I'm going to say.
That'd be great to have Jenry on the show, man. Look at that budget. That budget's really coming up, We got What happened was, guys, we kind of like blew the whole budget on Johnny Supertech, and then we got a little bit money together, and we sent Eric on a holiday cruise in Alaska.
We're climbing,
So,
man. We're
we're
climbing
trying
back.
to just get the money back, you know.
We just need a little bit more funds.
All those YouTube clicks, you know. All the subscriptions.